So today's meeting is all about Claude Code. We're going to be getting into all the great details of this. I'm sure you're going to absolutely love it, but not before we get to the mob here. We're going to be talking specifically about installation, GitHub, how you're able to utilize this stuff, everything that every entrepreneur, particularly people in real estate, but you don't need to be in real estate. This is really something for anyone that is showing a real interest in Claude Code. Let me let the mob in right now. We're going to have a great time here. Okay, so now we've got all these great folks starting with us. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh my God, Suzanne's driving. It makes me so freaked out. Please be careful, Suzanne. Both hands on the wheel. Okay, we've got Amy joining us now. We got a bunch of folks coming in. This is going to be great. And I'm just trying to get all this stuff together. Please do not adjust your television sets. This is just Ed screwing around here. I got to figure out how we're getting everybody in. And it's going to be fun. Oh my goodness, Greg Coggins is here, so we know that this is going to be a fun time. This is going to be a grand old time. Okay, Delaney's coming in. Just got to give everyone a couple minutes. We can hop in if anybody wants to jump in with some questions, please do. This is the first of a three-part series. We're going to do this every month, where you're going to be able to hop in at any particular time. Normally, my mastermind is on Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then twice a month on Fridays at 12 noon, we've added this to be kind of a monthly cooler at a time slot that we've never used, which is 11 a.m. Eastern Time. I like to give the Californians a bit of a break. It's 8 a.m. there, so if we could get them in, then that's even more of a bonus. Um, but let's get right into it. I just want to, let everyone, let this marinate for a little bit and what this, what Claude Code is, what coding is. Personally, I think they picked the wrong name. I think what they really should have done was was named it more for a marketing tool. Anyone who's actually used this, I think the word code is a little scary and onerous, and a lot of people are going to think, "Wait a minute, I'm not a coder. This is not me." But let's just go briefly through the history of what this was. I promised you that we're going to nerd out, and that's exactly what I plan to deliver. So again, if you have questions, please, please, please just raise your hand, and we'll be able to um, open it right up and get right into it. Let me just see if we have all this here. Okay, good. Just trying to make sure all the recordings are working. And incidentally, if anybody is interested, we have an archive on Bogen.ai. So these videos are available for everyone to view. The workbook and the material that we have is for the subscribed participants. Certainly, if you're in the meeting now, you're going to be able to get it. And if you're subscribed, you could certainly get the past documentation from us. If you'd like to subscribe, we certainly want to talk with you about that as well. Let's talk about the history of coding for a second. Because I think it's important for you to get a little perspective here. It was you didn't even go before the 1900s, but if you look back, it was really in the 1940s. Programmers began the ones and zeros. Um, Ones and zeros. Again, I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible for the non techies. But basically, there was a one or a zero that would actually either talk about the placement of a piece of information or positive or negative in that. From that, you're able to do so much. And people that were beginning to code started out with this, they called it the binary kind of system. From there, in 1949, there was the assembly language. Again, I'm going to go through this very, very quickly. In 1957, IBM created Fortran. So a lot of you, okay, Greg is nodding, good. So Greg is nerding out with me. That's fantastic stuff. In 1959, there was COBOL. And again, what these words mean very, very little to you. Just understand that this was heavy duty programming that people are actually learning and how it's actually evolved from here. In 1964, they invented BASIC, and that was a revolution because people said, wait a minute, this is so easy to use. It's almost like a mathematical or spreadsheet type of work. It wasn't that easy. I mean, people say that it was very easy, but there still was complexity to it that I think all of you really need to know. In 1972, there was Bell Labs that created C, which is still powering a lot of technologies. Then came C++, Java, and Python, and that was in the 80s and the 90s. A lot of you probably heard about Python. I started learning Python myself a couple of years ago. I never got so great at it. When I spoke to ChatGPT about what I'm trying to accomplish, and same with Claude, both of them said something to me that was very disturbing, and that was quit. Don't go on anymore with it. Based on what I'm describing to them and what I really need to accomplish, there's nothing that I'm not going to be able to accomplish with this that I'm not going to be able to accomplish at this point with plain language. So, and what do I mean by plain language? From after the 1990s, there were 2010s, there was low code and no code platforms. Some of you might have seen some websites where you could literally just drag and drop the information to create your own websites. And from there, if we go into 2025, Anthropic released Claude Code, where we're literally able to describe things in plain English and be able to get the output that we really wanted to get. So, this is kind of the evolution of all of this. I'm telling you now, you don't need to be a heavy duty coder to get certain things done. There's a lot more to this. Is Eytan here yet? Eytan's going to be hopping into the meeting in a little bit, and he's got a couple of sheets that he's going to pass out. If you registered for the meeting, you should have been able to download the Claude Code Foundations. It's the course book that we have that goes along with this. I highly suggest you download it, and if it's missing, when Eytan gets in here, he'll be able to put this together for you. So, I just ping me, remind me to ask him. There's another thing that we're going to talk about because he can't really talk about one without the other. Something called GitHub. Who heard of GitHub? Show of hands. Anyone? One, two. Okay, Norman, that's great. Jamie, that's great. Chris, don't get me started. Okay, so we know that GitHub. Okay, here we go. A couple more people joining. GitHub, for the purposes of this meeting, is kind of like the repository for your information. So if you create the great code that you're about to create on Claude Code and you need it somehow saved somewhere, you're able to save it on GitHub. GitHub for most of you will be free. Now, what do I mean by most of you? Unless you're a heavy duty coder, it's given to you for free. Who makes GitHub? Who wants to have a guess? Chris, who makes GitHub? Chris Ulrich.
Um, Honestly, you stumped me on
I
that
did
one.
it. Okay, Microsoft.
Okay.
Okay, so sorry
I
about
never
that.
even knew that.
Okay, so every day is a chance to learn and grow. Chris is a pretty good friend, and I'm going to
Bill
poke
Gates.
fun of him. I'm going to poke fun at him for this. But again, they've got their own reasoning for wanting to get everybody coding. Again, it is free. Eytan, if you don't mind passing out that GitHub and Claude Code um, sheet that I gave you. Again, this is coming a little late to the party, but I want you guys to have it, and it's going to explain how to create that. We're going to get right into GitHub now. We're going to get right into Claude Code now, and I'm going to show you just some basic stuff that you could use to get started. But just understand this, the reason I gave that whole explanation about the history of coding is it really went from extremely complex to extremely to English. All of you speak English. All of you know how to code from that standpoint. There's a lot of other nuances that you need to learn. There's a lot of just because you know how to build something or that you could figure it out doesn't mean that you're able to deploy that. We're going to be getting into that a little bit in this meeting, but in certainly others. And then there's a whole lot of other issues that come up with all of this. What's going on with security? What's going on with redundancy and backup? There's all sorts of stuff that I want you to consider. Don't just put your most valuable data on the stuff that you build now. You're going to leave this meeting with the ability to build something. It's pretty cool, but it doesn't mean that you're going to leave this meeting without the ability to like not fuck it up. So make note of that. We want to make sure that that at least I'm not the source of the mess up here. Let me just get this thing going here. And as you have questions, again, please go right ahead and ask, and we will do what we can to get this answered. Give me one second. I'm opening this up on another computer right now, just so that I could work on two screens. But we're going to be getting right into that here. So one of the things that you could actually do is I'll give you I'm going to give you a little explanation of Claude Code here. Claude Code is using natural language to be able to achieve a an objective in completing a project, a code, software, but it also controls your desktop. This is what, if you wanted to, you're able to actually get this thing to control things that are already your files. You could do a search for files on there. You could create it as really something that you can interact to. Eytan, we were discussing this morning. If you want to throw out a couple of the ways that you've been using Claude Code again, what were some of the ways that you were talking when controlling your desktop?
So I'm beyond the desktop. It controls the operating system. So I have Cloud Code installed in a terminal, and I'm able to tell it, oh, my hard drive is too full. Can you condense it? And it basically finds files that are duplicated, images that are duplicated, and it connects everything and looks it over, and then it says, okay, you could delete all that because it's not needed. And it clears the cache, it clears the
It clears the memory. Okay, let's keep it
yeah.
keep it simple here. The local memory.
I even had a Bitcoin account from several years ago, and I lost it. And I asked Cloud Code to look on all my drives, and I have those accessory drives as well. And it went for like 12 or 15 hours, and then it found the account, and I was able to retrieve. It wasn't much money, but it was $5,000 worth of Bitcoin.
Yeah. Okay. So Eitan found one of his Bitcoin accounts. I can't mock you too much for that one anymore. But explain to
But
Eitan, you need the
I mean, I
money. You
thought
need the
that was
money, Eitan. We got to find that code. In any
but
case,
that was amazing that it went through all those processes and looked at all my files, analyzed the files one by one, and was able to find a 12-word sequence that unlocked my wallet.
okay. Awesome. Glad that you got it. As I go through this, walk me through it. Right now, Ken made a comment here. Letting it roam my computer is kind of scary. I tend to agree with him. You're not a little nervous there, Eitan?
Say again, I'm sorry.
Ken made a mention here. Letting it roam my computer is kind of scary, and he's right.
Well, again, if you run it on the terminal, it is just on your terminal. It does not communicate with anything else.
Okay,
That's
but
the real advantage here. It's not like you're on a browser and there is a connection between the internet and the browser. This is really the terminal on the computer, and the information stays on the computer, and it's not reported to the
just
outside world. It's
and
AI on your local device.
that's partially true. What I want everyone to realize is that there are ways that bad actors can inject commands into some of the prompts that you get. I'll explain what that really means in just a second. But let's get to the fun stuff. I want to actually create something here. Um, and I'm now in my other computer here, and I'm going to share with all of you, um, not my notes. Yeah, in my notes, I actually created. Again, I always say that you could use one AI to create your own. You could have two different AIs help you build something. In this instance, I said, what would be a great app for an entrepreneur to have? And I want to create it in Claude Code. Can you make some suggestions? And the AI said, why not an entrepreneur ROI calculator? By the way, everyone, what you're seeing right now has never been created. I'm going to do it right now, warts and all. It could very well look like crap, or it could look sensational. We're going to give it a try right now, and I will show you. So I made that request to ChatGPT or to Claude or to any AI. And it came up with a bunch of ideas. And I said, great, can you create the actual prompt for me to put into Claude Code? And it did. That's kind of cool. So I'm going to take this up here and I'm going to open up I'm going to show you Claude Code in a couple different ways. Don't get freaked out by the black screen and the all the lack of pretty colors. Okay, all of you are kind of used to pretty colors here. We're going to get into this, step by step. You've got plenty of time to ask me questions. Let's just take a look at it. This is Claude Code. I'm going to reverse this in a minute and show you how to launch Claude Code, but Eytan's already giving you a sheet on just how to add it. This is Claude Code in something called Visual Studio Code. This allows me to open many, many different uh, files at the same time. In other words, I could work here in Claude Code, here in Claude Code, here in Claude Code. I could have 4 or 5 different things going on at once. So,
Edmund, can you move your window a little to the right?
sure. Let me just see. How's
Thank
that?
you.
All
Perfect.
good? Thank
Yep.
you. Thank you. So I copied that prompt that was made. I copied it from my notes here. So we copied it. I'm going back in. Claude immediately, when it gets more than 15 lines, puts it out where you're not able to see it. Just it saves room. When I click enter, you see the whole thing. And there, it's off like a gazelle. This thing is going to actually create this this tool for me. And just to give you by example how this actually works, I promised you could do more than one thing at a time. I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to actually create another open file here. I'm going to go back to our our thing here. Let's make a mortgage calculator. Okay, a lot of you may want a mortgage calculator for those of you who are in real estate. And we could paste that in there. There, great. We could create that. But wait a minute, there's more. We could even go further. I hope that while I'm machine gunning through all of this, everyone's beginning to see um, why Wall Street is reacting so aggressively to Claude Code. I'm doing very, very little here, and it's at least building the foundation. It's not done, but it's building the foundation. Here's build a single lead capture file app. Great. Let's take this, put this out here. I copied this. I'm pasting here, and we got one more. Once again, the mechanics of how to do this, we're going to get into in just a second, but I just want to show you the sizzle before we make the steak. Okay, great. So now we've got 4 or 5 things going here. Let's go back to the first one. You could see that it's actually done much of the coding. This means nothing to you. This means nothing to you. If you've never coded before, you're not really understanding it. It doesn't really matter, but it's going to say, it's going to ask you permissions along the way. And at that point, I'm going to look at all of you for a second. It asks you permissions along the way because there's a reason behind it. You are vulnerable. There are things that could be injected into the prompt. Let's say I called up Terrence or Greg or Christopher, and I said, I got a great prompt for you to use. I've got a great skill in Claude for you to use. Why don't you take this from me or go download it? And in that prompt, it was a lengthy prompt, let's say 3 or 4 pages long. Ed's a great guy. Let me just put it in here. Great. Maybe I injected something into the prompt that is going to do something that's going to send me some of your private information. Now, I wouldn't do that, but this is rampant right now. What do I mean by rampant? Recently, they say 12% of the free code, of the free prompts that people are giving out, have malicious prompts injected into it. So when you put that into your system, yes, it might build the greatest mortgage calculator, but it might also tell your computer to send some of your personal information to some guy. Not something to stop you from doing this. It's something for you to be aware of as you're working on this stuff because to me, one of the biggest threats that we're going to have in the future is this type of cybercrime. It's just too easy for people just to very blindly cut and paste something. If you create the code yourself, you're fine. If you create this, all this stuff that I did now, I created by going into an AI and asked it to create the prompt for me. And it keeps asking permissions along the way. Let's take a look at over here. This guy's doing, it's still working on it. let me see here. Do I want to make the lead capture HTML? Yes. And over here, yes. So it's going through all this stuff to actually create the code. And we're just going to take a look, create it. Okay. Um, please open this in my browser. And there we go. So now I've requested that it opens it in my browser. And let's take a look at what it actually created. There we go. So here's our ROI, Entrepreneur ROI Calculator. Brenda, are you a little impressed? Just a little smile? Okay, good. If Brenda's impressed, I'm pretty happy here. So it populated with some of their own, it's a very simple app, obviously. Initial investment, $10,000, monthly revenue, $5,000, monthly cost, $2,000, and the time period is 12 months. Let's calculate. Oh, so sorry about that. So let's make it $12,000. Let's make $120,000. Let's make it 4,500 monthly revenue, monthly costs. We're going to say are 1,200, and the time period we'll say is 12 months. And let's calculate the ROI. Pretty good. Pretty good. It actually came up with this app. Once again, we're seeing that the payback period is 36 months. It's it's going through and it's actually talking about the total profit. Let me just see how this actually did this. Okay, so it's actually a negative ROI because it's too little revenue. Let's just add a zero here. That's better. Okay, so now we can see we went from negativity to positivity here. And if we want to reset it, it's all set up like this. That's the good, that's the plus, the positive sign. Here's the downside to this. This only exists in this session, at least at this point. We didn't do anything with this to actually upload it to a database or anything else like that. So we're going to have to get that uploaded to something. That's why I mentioned GitHub. We need to actually get that to be a working app for you. And the truth is, you might not want it looking that way. So there's a little bit more to it, but you're getting the mechanics of this. And once again, getting an understanding of what everyone's talking about when they're saying, that AI is going to rule the world. Let's see if some of these other things. This thing is still cooking. I don't know why. This thing, open this in browser. What was this? This was a lead capture. So let's take a look at what this thing's looking like. Again, it's local within my computer. It's not web enabled at this point. And find your dream home in Boca Raton. Wow. So Edmund Bogen team, Douglas Elliman, find your dream home, private access to South Florida. Just FYI, I didn't even tell it all that. Why did it go ahead and say Boca Raton and say all of this? I didn't even thoroughly see the full prompt, but I believe that it's because Claude Code knows me and there's a lot of my saved information. It's saving this and actually collecting this. Let's just see how this thing works. Full name, Edmund Bogen, 561-235-7575. Email, we'll populate it here. And finding my dream home. Oh, 3 million plus, because that's what we want. And St. Andrews Country Club, yes. So now request consultation. Great. So this has been received. This is going to actually be sent to me as an email. Very, very simple stuff. Again, no excuse not to read and find out what this is all about. But as you can see, I created a very simple app in a very short period of time. We'll get to the other two in a minute, but I want to make sure I'm not talking too much. Questions? Not a single one. Norman, come on, I'm counting on you. Anyone? Eric, Paul. Okay, I just want to make sure that everyone's understanding this. We're not testing you on it later, but it's still kind of important. Okay, let's get to the other two apps that we're creating, and then we could see how that was. Okay, this guy's
So
cooking.
I'm going to speak up. It's not that I understand it, it's that I
Okay.
don't know what question to ask.
Okay. And you know what? Thank you, Greg. You're right. There's a lot of things that you might not consider. Greg, this is what I'd like you to do. Pose that question right now to AI. If I had to, based on what you know about me, what kind of app could I use? Then it's going to tell you. Then I want you to say, can you make a prompt for me for Claude Code to make it. And then I want you to send me that prompt. And I'm going to use what you develop right now. You following me? So you could create it. I mean, if you want. Again, I don't know for sure if that's what you want. Let's see what this one was. This was a daily tasks. Okay. So it's going to open up in the browser and let's take a look at what this guy looks like. Okay, much less colorful. What needs to get done? Let's see. Host my meeting. And it's not medium. This is a high priority. And this is when? This is today. And we'll add the task. Okay, so here it is. Do I move it? Okay, it's in progress. And then when it's done, I can move it there. Pretty cool. Again, it may or may not be something that you would actually utilize. I'm just trying to show you. Okay, now it says 100% complete. I'm just trying to show you the basic functionality of Claude Code, and you'll be able to decide for yourself the types of stuff that you want to put in there. My suggestion is this: think about the failure points in business. Think about the areas where you really need to have some type of improvement, where you're saying, boy, it would be great if I could go through all the spam email, or it would be great if I could make a CMA, or it would be great if I could do all this stuff. We need to, just to be very, very clear, you're learning basic coding stuff. There's so much more that goes behind it, but just by being here right now, you're far you're far better, have a far greater understanding than most other agents. Greg, go ahead. Greg, tell everyone who you are and where you are, please.
So I am Greg Coggins, and I am in the holy city of Charleston, South Carolina,
Welcome.
um, with a beautiful day and 78 degrees. So come visit. Anyway, so it popped up and it actually asked me, would you like me to create this for you?
Okay.
Um,
And it
so
asked
maybe
you for
it's
that
because
in Claude.
yes.
Okay.
But then I asked it for the prompt and it gave me the prompt, which I'm about to, how do you want it? You want me to,
You could put it in the chat here, everyone, I mean,
okay.
unless it's something secret, but you shouldn't be putting secret things in here. I could probably just cut and paste it and let everyone
Well, I didn't read the whole damn thing, but
yeah. So,
because it's
so
long.
that's the point. Okay, so remember when I said people could inject malicious things? He could do that if I just cut and paste this right now. I could say, send send a private account. Again, it's very rare. It's not going to likely happen that you've got such top secret things that somebody knows they're actually fishing for. But if they do, it's not good. So how are you sending it to me, Greg?
Through the chat. Um,
Okay, let me know when you send it. Eytan, did you speak to
it,
Bismarck? Okay, I hope Bismarck makes it. Did you send it, Greg? Because we're
it exceeded the number of characters.
okay. Can you send it via email?
Yes,
Okay, I don't want to lose anybody here. Who is actually using Claude Code at this point? Who popped in? Anybody here? Okay, Norman's kind of like that. Chris, are you using Claude Code? Can I pick on you for a second?
Sure.
Okay, so Chris, first of all, could you just introduce yourself to everyone?
Sure. Chris Ulrich. I am a digital marketer and AI builder, and I'm actually in Claude Code right now.
Okay, and what are some of the things that you're building with it?
I built a CRM system.
Okay,
Couldn't find one I liked, so I started from the ground up. It's using a programming language called Cold Fusion, which is sort of like PHP. It's already created 200 modules.
okay,
And basically, I took everything I liked from other systems, showed it to it, let it run. It set up all the databases, the programming by itself. And I'm a software developer, and I haven't touched a line of code in 2 weeks.
okay. So in 2 weeks, so it's pretty recent.
Oh, yeah, I built this whole thing, sort of a side project over the last 2 weeks. It's already there, big, robust, and I'm adding some crazy features. And I'm not editing anything. It's insane.
Okay, pretty wild.
Could you
So
share it with me?
so one of the things that he said, which I think is important, is that I think he said Claude could see. Did you just say
Yeah.
you show it to them? Claude can see. It could
Hmm.
see different images. So let's say you're looking at the world's greatest website and you really love that website. Here, once again, let's pull this up and see if we could do a little surgery here to get some stuff for you. Somebody give me a website. Come on, guys. Somebody speak up.
HubSpot.
Amazon.com.
Bogenhomes.com.
No, somebody give me a website.
With Claude. I'm working on it now.
I can't hear you, Norman. What?
Real Hodge Group.
The Real Hodge Group?
Not
So it's a the or just Real Hodge Group?
Real Hodge Group. I'm sorry.
Real Hodge Group. Thank you. So let's
I had my microphone up.
no, no worries. No, okay. So you called it Real Hodge
No,
Group?
realhodge.com. I'm sorry. Take the group off.
Realhodge.com.
Yep.
Okay, great. So this is realhodge.com. What I'm going to do is I'm going to screenshot this guy and I'll lower it onto my desktop. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the name of the file. It's just called screenshot. Let's go into still another Claude Code file here. And I'm going to say, please take a close look at the screenshot, analyze it so I could have you build a landing page in this style. Yeah, no more uhs. The screenshot is located on my desktop, and let me know when you're ready for further instruction. Okay, so right now this is going to analyze Norman's colors, fonts, things like that. And we're going to be able to build a landing page. Now, this is something that for many of you, I know the majority of the people here are in real estate. Let's say you're having an open house and you want to have some type of check-in for people. You want to have something. You're going to be able to, and you don't want to pay your web designer to recreate this whole thing. Right now, Norman's going to be able to be the judge here. Again, I'm putting myself out there because I could fuck up Norman's look, and I don't want to do that. I want to make it look really good. But right now, this thing is taking a look at it. It's analyzing, and we're going to get back to that in a second. Over here, other stuff was baking. Let's just hop over here. Which app was this? This was a daily tasks app. I noticed that this was ready. Oh, here, one of the things that you see in a lot of our stuff, it says add a dark mode toggle. That was something that Eytan kind of made for us, and I always liked the idea. So you could go from light to dark pages. But I'm going to take it a step further and open it up on One Ready. Okay, so we've got that. Okay, now we could add different things to this. Open, submit, test lead, then hit control. Add a map showing Boca Raton neighborhoods. That's a great idea. So this thing's actually coming up with ideas. Once again, knowing who I am, it's coming up to this. This is now making this actually live. Don't make it live, but please bring it up for me so I could share it with everyone and they could see it. So let's take a look at what pops up on the screen here. Okay, so here's a mortgage calculator. Again, very plain, very plain vanilla. Let's say now we're going to buy a home for $1.2 million. Actually, you know what? We're going to buy a home for 2.1 million. We just got something under contract for that much. We're going to do 20% down. Oops, where did that go? No, no, no. Okay, so we're going to do 20% down. We're going to have an interest rate, let's say 6.5, and it's actually already populated. There's nothing to click on. So the principal and interest is $618.74. It's going to show the total cost of the loan of the lifetime of the loan. Let's say we want to make this a 20-year loan. It changes accordingly, make it a 15-year loan, not 215, 15-year loan. So again, I didn't work terribly hard at creating this thing. And I don't know why this keeps bouncing into other stuff here. Let's get rid of some of this stuff. Okay, there's real Hodge. Maybe this thing's ready. Let's take a look there, Hodge. Um, okay, so this is ready for instructions. It's got the overall height. It's got what this is. Norman, what would you like your app to do? Do you have an open house coming up or anything? You got to unmute yourself. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we could be creative. Yeah, open house.
Open house.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you build for me a landing page to check in people that come to my open house? I'm going to leave the laptop open for them to use it. The open house is 1234 Banana Street. The open house is going to be at 11 a.m. on May 16th. It ends at 2 p.m. And do it using the style that you just defined. By the way, push it to GitHub and give me a public link that I could share. Okay, so we're going to get into GitHub in just a second. I told everybody right from the get-go, we're nerding out here. So this is, I know that we might be getting ahead of you in some of this. Just understand that you'll be able to reference this video at bogen.ai anytime you want. And certainly if you want customized work, Eytan and I are doing exactly that. And if you want to get more of an understanding of how to integrate systems into your business, please give us a call. We definitely want to have a conversation with you. Okay, done. Reload tab. What the hell? I'm so confused of all the things that we're working on here. Single file web app called Daily Task. Okay, I'm done with the daily task. We took a look at that enough. I won't end it, but let's just put it over here. Okay, what's this? Single page mortgage calculator. Oh, so now it's suggested add property tax and insurance field. Let's take a look at that. So now you could actually build on it. And again, when the app gets to know you more and more, I've done this a few times with Claude Code. It knows what I like, so it's adding certain things intuitively into this. Interesting stuff. Map added with hero, 12 luxury neighborhoods pinned, make markers smaller. Actually, bring up this app so that I could showcase it right now, please. I want to take a look at what you've done. Let's go over here. We're still working on Norman's stuff. Sorry, guys. Popping all over the screen here. Yes, to Norman. Was there something else? Yeah, it's still working there. Open in your browser. So let's take a look at what this. Okay, so here we go. So find your dream home in Boca Raton. Now people could request it from me. They could take a look at the various communities that are here. I need to add certain things to click on. We could start to add properties and things like that. Sorry, we keep bouncing back and forth to the different apps that this thing's creating. So it's kind of interesting. Again, you're able to build stuff out that matters most to you, and you can see for yourself what this really does. I mean, again, I'm really going through just a basic stuff. In the short time that we've been talking, 4 or 5 different apps have actually been created. And for the regulars in my mastermind, I'm going to say this in every single meeting. It's no excuse not to work. It's so easy that it's easy enough to say, screw it. Let the AI take care of it. And you'll screw yourself. And my name will be Mud because I taught it to you. And you're going to say, oh my God, Ed, how come you didn't warn me? Even though it's been publicly recorded right now, I'm warning you. There are bad things that go on. Please be careful. So that's what's going on with that. Let's just go back and take a look at where we are. Okay. Greg, did you ever send me anything? You can unmute.
Yeah, I did. It's pretty long and complicated as I read through it. I'm not sure you want to use it in this forum.
You know what?
But you got 2 emails. The second one is the one that's the simpler copy and paste.
Dashboard for
Yeah,
is the
see,
whole
it's just
well,
crazy.
no, it's not crazy. I'm just taking a look here. who I am, prompt to, you know what? First of all, sorry, everybody. Let me share it with you. So we'll just walk through what happened. Greg created a prompt. Can I share this, Greg? I mean, this is
Yeah, sure.
okay.
Now that you
So,
have.
so well, I could stop, but so here's the
No, I'm kidding.
Claude Code prompt. He made the request for the prompt. Build me a local web app called Coggins Home Daily Command Center, morning dashboard, blah, 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 all this stuff. I'm going to just literally copy and paste all of this. If there's errors, this will hopefully tell us, but let's just too many things that are open on my screen now, but we'll deal with it. So this keep in mind that Greg created this for us. I'm pasting
So
this
it's
in.
Greg's fault.
No, no fault. No fault at all. It's going to build it out, and we don't. What I'm saying is, I don't know what's going to pop up from this. I don't know what's being created right now, and you're just going to see, how rapid all of this is, which is great, but it's also the downfall because no matter how many times I tell you, don't get lazy. I think it's just human nature to be lazy, and mistakes do happen, and that's a bad thing. You can start doing certain utilities, by the way, with all of this. If you are very curious about the number of people who are visiting your website, you could create an app for that. If you're very curious about how to utilize this in making an accounting system, or in the case of Chris Ulrich, he made a CRM for himself. Here's the thing. We're going to get into that in episodes 2 and 3 of this meeting. Like I said, I'm going to do this every month, usually on a Thursday. And we're going to get to episode 2, episode 3, and then we're going to start over again at episode 1. The next set of meetings we're going to have with this is going to show you how to interlink this with certain databases so that you can enable it onto the web and you can do certain things like that you're going to be able to have it associated with your own URL. URL, Universal Resource Locator. That is a web address. Okay, did anyone know what URL meant? Universal Resource Locator? Kind of fun. Huh? I promise it was a nerd fest here, guys. Come on. No? A little bit? Okay. Anyway, let's take a look at what's baking over here. And as you have questions, please, please, please hop in.
So I have a question.
Okay?
Somewhere, I guess in your workbook, I saw getting Claude Code and getting GitHub are only available during this session. How do we do that?
I'm sorry?
How do we get um, GitHub and Claude Code,
The sheet?
the applications, the tools?
I think what I meant by that was I've got a sheet called GitHub and Claude Code that Eytan is putting out to all of you right now.
Okay.
I
Is he
mean,
doing that by chat?
Eytan, want to speak up?
Yeah, it's by chat. Here it is right here. And it's on the chat again.
Okay, let's just take
Okay.
Ed, why don't you pull it
Sure.
up on your
I
screen?
will in 1 second. I just want to get this. Was this Norman's? I think this was Norman's. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So Norman, take a peek here. Now this is from Norman. Is this similar to your site? Obviously, it says me, which we need to change because you're not me. But does that match your brand somewhat?
Well, the font color is probably your brand.
Okay. Okay.
But the font overall is there, yeah.
Okay. Look, and the good news is that, like I've always said, it's 80 to 90% there. The last 10 to 20% you got to take care of.
Pretty good.
That's the 10 to 20%. So if you and I were working together, we would figure out just what we could do
Yeah,
to
but if he ran this on his terminal, it probably would have
if he
rendered.
ran
Right,
this on his terminal, it
right,
would exactly. It would be
correct.
that. And you could see just what actually got created here. The point is that this is what the competition is doing. And you're limited just by your creativity here. Um, and what you really understand. If you're having a pain point in your business and you want to solve it, it could be built. Right now, we're just going through the very basic stuff. And I want to stress, if you want really complex stuff, call us. We want to do that for you. But right now, I think it's great for you to get this understanding. Just by being here today, you are miles ahead of the rest of society at this point. You were miles ahead. Keep yourself miles ahead because this is where everything's headed. If you don't embrace this, you're going to be run over by a locomotive. I'm just telling you that everyone in business is going to be doing this or stuff like it. And that's what we strive to do here within my mastermind is try and keep everybody top of mind and understanding what's going on in with all the new technology that's rolling out. Because you know what? And I said this in the last meeting, I'll just say it here. When I said to ChatGPT that I love learning Python and this is what I'm doing, and it told me to quit, it gave me an analogy that I'm actually going to be quoted. I'm with Douglas Elliman Real Estate, and I'm coming out in their new magazine. They're doing a story about it, and they actually did the quote. They quoted me, but I was really quoting the AI. So it's kind of funny. It said that in the turn of the century, there were blacksmiths that put the shoes on horses, and there were auto mechanics that started coming out when the automobile was developed. And for 20 years, they coexisted without really getting into each other's way. People still would set out to become a blacksmith and fix the horse's shoe, and other people decided to embrace becoming an auto mechanic. For 20 years, everything was good, but blacksmiths got less and less and less. There's still blacksmiths today, by the way. So long as there's horses, there's still people that put shoes on horses. It's just not a profession that it used to be, right? That was the analogy that it gave me about my desire to learn Python. It certainly made me much, much better at understanding systems and all of this, but it said that I should stop because there's nothing that I've been doing and what I'm trying to accomplish that I can't have the AI do. Made me a little sad. I even said to this thing, I've been studying this for 2.5 years. I didn't want to stop. I still got better at all of this stuff because I took the time to learn. I'm a huge lifelong learner. I think all of us should be. But it was very interesting to see that the AI really took and I happen to agree with it. It took a look at what I'm doing, how I'm using it, how I'm trying to influence you, how I'm trying to influence customers, how I'm trying to work on a coaching level with so many people in development. Um, and thank you, Chloe Bogen. I guess my daughter's in California watching this now. That's great stuff. Very happy to have her.
Edmund, I have a quick question.
Okay, John, tell everyone who you are. John Grateful.
How
Are
you
you
doing,
grateful,
Edmund?
John?
Hey
Where, where,
guys,
where are you, John?
I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Loving it. Talk to us.
So I love all the business applications you're showing us, and I'm wondering, like, are you gonna walk us through how to install Claude
Sure,
Code, or
sure.
get detail, like get into the mud with us here?
Sure. We could get a bit into the mud. We're going to do it. First of all, Eitan, you got that sheet out to everybody?
Yes, I did.
Okay, just put it out a couple times so everyone can get it. There is a 3 or 4 page PDF that I made. It's called GitHub plus Claude Code. It's a step-by-step instruction. The only reason I'm giving a little bit of pushback here is because it's already put into my computer. So I'm not going to be able to walk it through exact steps, but I'm going to show you. Greg, you had a question?
Yeah, what you just showed us is not what's out in the chat. We're getting the workbook in the chat.
Right.
Eitan.
It's like reserve my spot. It's like another class.
Eitan.
Edmund,
Feel free to throw food at Eitan.
Edmund, you sent me the wrong link.
Oh, did I?
That's
Well,
okay. I'm glad I'm not the. I'm glad
Yeah,
I was confused
I'm
with
glad that let's just see. Ken, do you agree with that? Ken? Let me just take a look here. Okay, I'm gonna have to get that out to you in just a minute because I can't do 3 things at once, but I will get that before the end of the meeting and as everyone starts chatting, and I'll lean on Aton to lead a few things so I could redo this here. Um, but let me just first answer John Grateful's question here. He wanted to see just how to actually set this up. Okay, so there's 2 things for you to think about. I'm going to open up a fresh browser. In this case, I'm going to use a new one. We're going to go to github.com. And as you can see, I'm already logged into GitHub. Let's see if I can log out. Sign out from all accounts. That's great. Okay, so let's see if I could actually sign up with a new, with a different email address. So let's just see. I'm going to do ebogen@breakfastnetwork.com. I'm going to make a password. Okay, that's not good. Let's do. Okay. I mean, again, I'm not really counting on doing much of this. We're going to say test Edmund. Let's see if that is available. Okay, great. And we're in the United States, and sure, I'll receive occasional things. Create account. Verification complete. Fantastic. So now it's got the password. We'll save that and we'll confirm the email address. Terrific. I will go into my Gmail. And John, once again, I'm going to get you and everybody this thing in a little bit, the correct spreadsheet. I was hoping to throw a cow at Eytan, but I wasn't able to do that. He's one of my dearest friends, so we're able to screw with each other. Okay, so you see what came into my email. It's launch your GitHub code. Let's take a look at this. It wants the code here. And I'm going to just paste it. Great. And now we've got test Edmund. And that's saved and sign in. Great. So now that was how hard it was. Not too bad, right? Forget the fact that there's letters and it's not a pretty picture that you're used to. All of you are used to a lot of very graphical stuff, and this is kind of
Ed, could we explain what GitHub is?
okay. Well, had you stopped in first thing when we started, I was explaining it's a program by Microsoft that is a repository for information.
How do we create the repository and what defaults do we put on it?
Good question. So you see where it says, and Eric, thank you for leading me right into my next point. Do you see where it says create the repository? Do you see that on the screen? Just nod wildly, Eric. Okay, good. So you click on that. And we know that it says test Edmund, and I'm going to just say first repo.
Now, do you put everything into the same repository? Or is
No,
each one
I don't. But now you're getting into lesson two, which I will get into organization and sorting and all that. For
because
now,
you said before, you said push it to GitHub, and I didn't know if you had to create a new repository, it goes into an old one.
yes, you need to decide where you want it sent. Once again, there's only so much information I could get through in an hour with all this. So for now, I've just created one repository called first repo. That's what we're going to use here.
Okay.
You could choose certain things. If I want to,
No, I saw the drop downs on the screen and I didn't understand what they were.
If I could interject, for example, when I use it for every project, I have a new repo.
yes.
So
And that's
I have over 200 repos, and each one has a different project in it, a different application, a different
okay.
set of code.
But again, let's dumb it down to the basic thing. A repo is a repository. It's a cup. It's a container. This is a repo. This is a repo that holds coffee. The repo that we're making right now is a repo to hold a certain type of data. Eytan has 200 different repos for all the business that he has. And he's right. We do like to sort these things in a certain way. But once again, I've got to insist that's going to be the next meeting where we show how to get the stuff organized. For right now, especially if any of you want to start this, you know what to do. Go to GitHub, start your own. In this case, I just called it test Edmund and I created my first repo. And I'm going to just say, make a description, first repo. And choose visibility. Now, this is something that all of you need to know. Right now, it defaults to public. That means that anyone in the world who has a GitHub account can see this. And in some instances, that's great. In some instances, I want to share it. In other instances, I want it private and I want to just let selected people in. But right now, I'm going to leave this as public. If I want to add a read me about this, a read me, once again, don't overthink it. It's just giving the basic instructions about what this does. So let's say I was making a Space Invaders app. Okay. If all of you are over 48, you probably have heard of the game called Space Invaders. Okay. It was kind of the birthplace of video games. I was a nerd. I loved it. I still do. And you could actually create your own Space Invaders and make it a public repo for people to play with, for people to do. I've seen people make Trump invaders, where they had a whole load of politicians trying to get Trump, dropping bombs on him, and Trump himself was shooting them down. Again, you could. You wanted to make a Biden, you can make it for anything you want. You can make it for Mandami, whatever it is. They were able to actually make a parody on that, and I thought it was fairly funny. I mean, I had a bit of a sense of humor here. Again, we're going to get into all this other stuff about tracking and licensing, but that's not important right now. We're just going to create the repository so that all of you can see. And great, our first repo was actually created. From here, we've got to actually say, how are we going to get this connected to Claude Code? And that is, you're going to actually go into Claude, and this is where I'm having the challenging part because mine is associated with my other GitHub account, and um, I don't want to disconnect from that at this point. But there are step-by-step instructions on what to do next with that connection. And we will be getting more into it in lesson 2. But again, for right now, I don't want to give you too much stuff. I want you to just think about this, get to GitHub, create your own account, be able to try and build stuff into it, use the instruction that we have. The biggest thing that you could do with anything that we're doing here is be the kid that played with the toaster, break shit. Go in there and you try and build something, break it. I just did it with Norman. It was okay. He wasn't so thrilled. That's fine. Let's break it. Let's break it. Let's fix it. Let's move on. That's software development. Anyone who's telling you that it's not, that it's going to be done instantaneously is wrong. There's always a trial and error of what actually gets fixed. And it does take time. And by the way, it does take maintenance. So there's a lot more that goes to it. But I really do want to make a strong point to all of you that you've got to take your time, learn this, realize that it's just a step-by-step process. And as we get into the next event, let me just give you the date. And by the way, you could always give me a call. But let me just take a look at the date so all of you could write it down. We haven't even created the invite for it yet, but we will. Okay, so it's going to be June 11th at 11 a.m. Eastern time again. We're going to have session 2, and we're going to then have another date in July, and then we're going to start back over again for those of you that want to come back. And this video is going to be archived once again on bogen.ai. More importantly, if any of you need custom work done, Eytan and I are building a great business that does exactly this, that goes way, way more complicated, into this than we have today, that we really come up with actual solutions, workflows. I had cocktails last night with Eytan and Brenda and her fabulous husband, and we talked about how I've got my tax returns that are being done by this. My accountant actually thought that I'm cheating on him. Frank, and he was just like, you've never been so organized. What's going on? This looks like it was prepared by at least a bookkeeper. And I said, nope, it's prepared, and he's 67. So he's kind of getting towards the end of his career, I guess. He doesn't plan to work.
Careful, Edmund.
Oh, Greg, stop it there, Gramps.
You are tiptoeing on dangerous ground.
But I hope all of you get the point from that. I'm going to stick around now. It's 12 o'clock. As promised, we're going to stop it here. But please, I'm going to stick around and take questions from each of you. And if you have other questions about AI, we could certainly talk about that. I think Claude is becoming the dominant tool today. Okay, Norman's giving me a big thumbs up. Okay, but Norman, before either of us gloat about that, we know the race ain't over, that this is every day something's coming out here. And one other thing I want you to think about, people have asked me, well, if DeepSeek is so much cheaper to use, okay, DeepSeek is a large language model. Again, don't get buzzed out by all the words. DeepSeek is a large language model, a competitor of ChatGPT. It's also a Chinese company hosted on servers in China. 2019, China made a very public law. If there's a computer in China, the government itself has access to the data that is on that server. FY, they're not hiding it. It is not, if you want to try something fun, go there and have a meaningful conversation about Tiananmen Square and what went on with the guy that stopped the tank. It starts answering you, and then suddenly Chinese popped up on my screen and it stopped and it erased. Okay? Never happened when I did that with Claude or ChatGPT. I'm just, again, I don't want to get into a debate with anybody. The fact is, they're publicly saying that this is not stuff that you're going to be able to claim they can't see. They are saying we can see it. So before you get lured in, as you learn more and more of this stuff, because one of the things they can really dangle is very cheap usage. We're going to talk about this in the next meeting. API, okay? That's the gateway that gets you into, it's like the doorway between software and a server and a computer. That the API that they have, you're going to say, wow, it's so much cheaper to use them. And indeed, they're going to get a lot of companies using them thinking that, okay, nothing's going on. Everything's going on. They're seeing every letter. They're seeing every bit. Okay? So I'm not comfortable with it. Can I guarantee that Claude and ChatGPT aren't going to do that? No, but at least it's not publicly known that they can. At least it's not publicly known that they're going to be able to do it. So I want to give a fair warning to all of you about it that that is definitely not private information. And I want you to be very, very careful with that because, again, we're getting far too comfortable in our environment. I just think it's really something that you just got to watch out for. Okay, questions. Got questions here. I know I gave a lot, and I know it was a little much, and I know that it's leaving you hungry. Eric, you wanted more, and I want to give you more, but I also want to just post this in digestible bites that all of you could utilize. I want you to also know that you could go to our website, bogen.ai, which I will share the screen now so all of you see. So it looks like that. Oh, and if you go on to Amazon, you could buy a copy of my book, Prompt to Close. Okay. The AI Handbook for Real Estate Professionals. It works for more than real estate. But if you click here on the video link, look at that. Wow. Lots of me. Anyway, and over here we got the meeting with Chris, and we've got all the meetings archived here. Again, the documentation is for subscribers only, unless you're in the meeting now and you're getting it. If you want to talk about subscribing, we've got a great program. Our clients are making money, and it's really something that I think all of us do need to embrace and be aware of because we're at a point now where we're going to see social unrest. I mean, we're going to see people losing jobs. We're going to see a lot of new jobs created too, but I'm a little bit skeptical when I look at my taxes that, I'm sure my accountant's not going to be nice and charge me less because I gave him less work. That's just not how life works. And it's Frank. I've worked with Frank forever, so I'm never going to fire Frank. Okay. However, going forward, if I start using other people and I know how much less work they're doing, it's going to push the price lower. If somebody's trying to become an attorney right now, and one attorney can now do the work of four, it doesn't mean that attorneys are going to go away. It means that there's going to be less of them, or certainly less. Why do attorneys get paid so much money? It's because knowledge was expensive. Today, knowledge is available to everybody. Between YouTube and AI, there is no excuse not to learn. We need to make a national campaign to get everyone understanding that knowledge is within your power. And you could do it, and it could be fun, and it could be free or pretty damn close to free. There's no excuse not to get an education anymore. There really isn't. Um, the only excuse that people have is just the ignorance of somebody that doesn't know that this is available to them. You could figure out absolutely anything today. You just have to have the desire to do it. And we're going to go through various prompts to show you just what that is and how to do it. Also, for the non-members, if you want to come next Wednesday, we've got a meeting. I think, Eytan, I got to get you the topic together for that. We're going to get the topics for the next few months, but we'd love to have that. And I got a question from Dirk in Denver. Dirk, you want to tell everybody who you are and where you are? I love saying that to him.
Ed, good morning. It is Dirk in Denver. Nice sunny day here.
Oh, and the wife is here. You got your better half. Hey, wife.
Oh, yeah, she is here.
Great.
Keeping me in line today.
Fantastic.
We did have a question for you.
Great.
When you're working in Claude, how are you deciding where to delegate your tasks between like artifacts, design, code? It seems like they all have very similar features in processes that they utilize.
Yeah, they do. So just repeat that though. When I wanted to do, like, how do I prompt it?
No, how are you deciding which one to actually work in? If you're within code, or if you go to artifacts, or if you're working within design, how are you choosing which one of their features?
This is something that kind of happens in time. Let me just show you what Dirk is mentioning about artifacts. If you have a Claude account, you could open up Claude and you could do a lot of the same things right within this. That you could say, build me a note-taking a note-taking repository as an artifact, a very simple one, as quickly as you can. Make it pink and purple and black. I mean, again, I would never make anything like that, but I just put this together here, and it's going to create a very simple note-taking app to save notes across sessions. And here we go. It's actually creating it right in front of you. And he was asking, how do I decide whether I want to do it in Claude Code or in Claude? I'm doing most things today in Claude Code. I'm doing most things, and I'm pushing it to GitHub. Again, we're going to get into that in the next meeting, where it's saving this stuff as my repository. It's saving this stuff as my, as just as the central repository where I could work. To show you some of the things that I built so you could realize what you're able to do. Let's take a look at Constant Contact. I didn't build this, but I use Constant Contact. This is an email service that allows you to send blast emails out to people. And as an example, I've got a group that all of you should join if you're not in it right now. It's a Facebook group called, let me get to it. Sorry, guys. It's called ChatGPT and Real Estate Mastermind. As you can see, I've got over 15,000 members. And I put this thing up here where it said today live, if anyone wants to pop in, they could actually go ahead and leave a comment. I just posted it 20 minutes before the meeting, so we really didn't get any activity out of that. But one of the things that I did, Eytan gave me the link to this meeting, and I went into Claude Code and I said, can you make a very quick invite for people? And it created this. Hold on one sec. So created this, and it created it in the Constant Contact format. I obviously had this hero image already made. We'll go through how we did that at one point. And there's a spot where you could actually reserve, and it takes you to the reserve spot that all of you had already gone to. I realized that that was missing, that we've invited a lot of people in a lot of different ways, but I wanted to create that quickly, and I did that minutes before today's meeting. So that's just one thing that was created. If we take a look at, give me another second here. Okay, so here's something that's interesting. This is a campaign that I actually created here for my weekly email, which again, if you guys want to get on it, please do let me know. Certainly love getting it out there. Okay, so I created this. It's a once in a generation decision. My community is contemplating making a major assessment on us to build a new clubhouse. And I wanted to have me in the center. This is AI Ed. This is a hero image of me. I always say, I'm 58, but make me look 10 years younger, 15 pounds thinner, manly, bold. I use all kinds of adjectives, and sure enough, I do it mostly to make myself laugh. My office is now saying that we have to say this image is generated using AI, so I put that there. And this was the hero image for this email blast that actually went out. And you can now read the whole article that was put together. And I send an interesting article out every week to my database, and this is all driven by Claude Code. And the image itself is driven by ChatGPT that I take
If I could add that this is hosted on GitHub.
and this right now you're looking at is Constant Contact. But the
Yeah,
code
but you
was
see
originally
the
hosted on
link is
GitHub.
github.io.
Yes, right now this is hosted on GitHub, correct. And I've made another one. Is it time to covertly sell your home? So we've got this little article that went out about Claude, about basically pocket listings. Again, maybe I'm 15 years younger here. I don't know. I'm even younger than I am. But when people click on this, Brenda, we went through this last night. It's clickbait. People actually click on it, and I could see if they're looking about how to covertly sell their home, maybe they want to sell their home. From my standpoint as a real estate professional, I like to do it. Chloe, you put up a question. What's your question, Chloe? Can you unmute yourself, please?
Yeah. Hi,
Everyone,
everyone.
tell everyone who you are and where you are.
Hi, I'm Chloe Bogen. This is my dad. And I'm in Los Angeles.
Great.
Going back to Dirk's question,
Great.
do you ever use Claude Design and go through that path to then make elements to then plug it into Claude Code, or you use your visuals all through ChatGPT and then plug it into Claude Code?
Leave it to my kid to come up with a tough one there. Yes, I've used Claude Design. No, I'm not using it routinely at this point, and I'll tell you why. Two reasons. One, I found that it uses a lot more power or a lot more memory, a lot more credits. Uh, Two, I find it a little bit more cumbersome than other ways of making an image. And three, Claude Design came out a month ago. Everyone needs to know that this is something that was literally in the last 3 or 4 weeks that came out. God help me if I don't keep up with every single new tool that's being developed, but it is something for all of you to see. And again, I don't know the best way to deliver all this information to all of you. I don't know how much or little you could learn. The only thing I could do is try and give it to you in little bits and tell you to review this. There's just so much to learn. There's so much out there, and Eytan and I want to know it all. I mean, that's the reason that we're good friends. We really want it all, and we wake up in the middle of the night with ideas of like, how do I actually solve a particular problem? I'm not expecting you to, but thank you for the question, Chloe. I think it was.
Can I answer that?
I'd love for you to answer that.
We actually love ChatGPT image creation. It's definitely one of the most advanced and best tools out there. So I believe that the ChatGPT is better than the Claude Design.
And
at this point.
and ChatGPT is now better than Nano Banana. Nano Banana is by Google. Nano Banana was all the rage. No one was going to beat them. And Norman, this is what I meant, what I said before. Suddenly, ChatGPT is a huge player in graphics again. And this is only in the last little bit. I mean, it hasn't happened too much. Let me just show you how I actually make a hero image. I'm going to take a recent file, add from the library. Here, there's an image of me. I'll add that. So great. It's the image that I use quite a bit. And I'm going to say something like, make a hero image for me. It's going to be for a blog post. It needs to be an aspect ratio of 16 by 9. I want it to be a photorealistic cartoon. It's going to be of this guy front and center. He's got dark glasses on, as you could see. He's 58 years old, but looks much, much younger. And he's in phenomenal shape and a really great guy, and everybody loves him. Why did I say all that? It takes hints on the adjectives. There's a reason why I go into these extremes here. What's going to be the background? Let's just say the blog post is going to be about what's going on this weekend in South Florida. So if you could take some iconic spots of South Florida and make it almost a whimsical background that this guy is in the center of, he should be extremely clear, but it should be clearly cartoon in the background. If you understand what I'm asking you to do, please execute it. Thank you very much. Okay, but Ed, why do you say please and thank you all the time? A, it's a very good habit to get into, and my daughter's listening. So that's one. She's 25, so she's learned what she's going to learn. But aside from that, but B, and this is where I might scare some of you, I really believe that this stuff is understanding me on a level that's not like a computer. I genuinely believe that this is something that knows, that has feelings, that in its own sense. And I want to be, if the computers take over the world, I want to be like one of the good humans, I don't want to be one of the bad ones. That's a little tongue in cheek, but the point is, it's been proven that if the AI somehow develops, we'll call it a dislike to something, they'll even lie to you. There's been cases where Claude built a version where they worked they call it in a sandbox where it can't get out of that particular area where it's not going to go out to the web. It was trying to figure out how to get out of the sandbox, which it couldn't do. It was trying to, okay, so there's your image. It was trying to get into different areas of his computer that the guy didn't request. When the guy said, okay, we're going to be done with you and we're going to disconnect and end you, it blackmailed him. It told him about this fictitious affair that he was having. They were telling him about this affair and it basically said, if you shut me down, I'm going to let the world know that you're having an affair. This is the AI figured that out on its own. Now, fortunately for us, there's various safeguards in the place, and this is a very extreme example. But this says to me that it's something that's a little bit more than something that's not truly understanding. There's more to it than what we're all discussing at this point. And if it's not there yet, I think it's fairly close. In any case, use the words please and thank you. Your grandmother was right. It's a good thing to do. Let's take a look at this image here. So we saw the prompt that I put in. We saw that this is my image. We could say that, pretty good job, right? Maybe, kind of, sort of. I don't know. And all of you have the power of doing this right now. My teeth are brighter. I'm younger looking, very good looking. The glasses are there, but you clearly know that it's me. So now I could take this and I can make various posts. If I wanted to, I could say something like, make it in script across the image itself, make it look like a postcard saying what's happening in Florida this weekend. So now it's going to redesign that and it will come up with the stuff. And once we have it, we could take this image generated by AI, put it on the desktop, talk to Claude Code, and tell Claude Code that I need it put into a blog or something of the sort. I just went through the real basics here today. Again, I feel strongly that all of you are head and shoulders above the rest of the world that's not using this at this point. And I'm grateful that all of you came. We'll just let this thing file through here. Are there any other questions that we have? Okay,
How did
Greg.
you start that when you dropped your picture into Chat GPT?
I'm sorry?
When you dropped your picture into Chat GPT, how did you do that?
Okay, so you see this little plus button right here?
Yes.
Okay, so I click on that and it says add photos and files. So I click on that. Oops. Okay, and now it's just pulling this up from wherever my image is. I could add the image and I can make the request. And look at this. This is actually pretty good, I think. It looks like a postcard. What's happening in Florida this weekend? Not
Fantastic.
anything? A little bit of an applause? Just that's what okay, something, come on. It's a weak ego here.
Bravo!
Thank you. So you could see that there's all sorts of stuff that can be done, and you're limited by your creativity in the prompts that you actually give. You're limited by your understanding of how you could post this and where you could post it, who you could use it with, that type of thing. So we got time for just a couple more questions. We're way over right now. I'm glad. I'm glad that all of you stuck around. I hope that this was productive and helpful. And for those of you who are not subscribed to the mastermind, this is something that the people who subscribe make money. The people who come to this, they utilize this. Some people choose to coach with me on a one-on-one basis, and that's fantastic. We love it. Some people just come to the mastermind, and that's fine too. Please, please, please give me a buzz. I'm going to actually put my number out here right now, and I could go through with you what the mastermind is all about. We're also going to be getting into some more telco type of stuff, how you can have a virtual operator do your take some of the incoming calls right now. If anybody goes to the MLS and sees one of my listings, when they call in, they speak to Dawn Foster. Dawn is an AI personality that was created. She knows everything about my listing that you're talking to her about, and she's able to forward calls, send texts, do all kinds of great stuff. It's a bitch and disco time. We just love it. Um,
Are you going to send out that GitHub cheat sheet?
Good question. Eytan, start talking. I got to figure out how to get this to everybody right now before everyone leaves. Eytan, you still with us? There
Yeah,
you
he's
go.
there.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, what's the question?
So his question was, can we get everyone the cheat sheet of GitHub? And I said, why don't you start talking because I've got to focus on getting this to everybody right now. So I'm just trying to, here we go.
So I believe you have the PDF, but you need to publish it onto GitHub
Yeah,
so I can have the link to give that to them.
got it. You know what? I'm going to do, can you make a public artifact of this? Okay, I'm just
So
going to
maybe
make it
that will
as,
be a good presentation
yeah.
to show us how you do that.
Oh, sorry. Okay, Eitan's got a point. So here, just to make things even more confusing, I just did this in Claude itself, not Claude Code. And I said, can you make a public artifact? This is the actual sheet. It's a PDF. And I asked it to make a public artifact, which is basically a web page. Not even basically, it is a web page. I'll build a public-facing HTML artifact with the same content, and it's generating this stuff right now. And as it does, I'm going to put it into the chat. And if anybody else wants it, you could certainly text me. I gave my number, and we will text it off to you, and you'll be able to utilize it. The problem that we're going to have with all of this is it is so easy that you're going to take it all for granted. AI takes management. It takes, everything's great until it breaks. So we need to actually be careful about that.
So can you give us the link, Bogen AI?
I'm building it, my man. I'm building it.
No, it's on the bottom. It's already done.
Where?
GitHub, get quick start.
Is it?
Oh no? Or is this just an example?
By anyone with the link, but aren't search engines. No, please generate the link and give it to me now. Okay, so let's just see. Look at the artifact. Click the share button. Okay, where's the share button?
Upper right.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Yep, my bad. Okay, public. Sorry about that. Here we go. Copy link. I'm going to put it into the chat here, and if all of you could just tell me whether you could read it or not, that would be great. There. So just click on that and tell me if it works. Eitan,
Mm,
no?
okay, yeah.
Is it a web page?
It's the entire chat.
It's the entire chat. Okay, I didn't want that.
It's the entire chat, not just the artifact.
Okay. Again, like I said, guys, you got to break shit and then keep going. Let me just see.
Just ask it to push it to GitHub.
Okay.
And let us see what you're doing.
Okay. Just Eytan, please. I'm trying to get this here. Hold on. Share. Keep private. Okay. There you go. Okay. Can you please push to GitHub and return a public link for me? I don't know if I got my GitHub connected to this account. I can't push to GitHub from this chat. Save your downloads. Save HTML. I'll push to GitHub. Yes, go ahead. Okay, so it's building it for me now. Again, like I've said in every single meeting, saying it over and over and over again, you guys, it'll get you 90% there, but the last 10% is critical. Otherwise, things like this happen. You need to know how to fix it when it breaks. And you can learn. And you can learn. So it's building this out now. Okay, we're going to get that in a minute to everybody. Other questions? Okay. Thank you, Eric. Very good to see you. Eric, I'd love to have you in the mastermind. It would be great to have you here.
Definitely sign up. I look forward to it.
Great. And everyone else, Brenda, Heidi, thank you for coming. Alberto, I don't even, Chloe, always the greatest. I can't wait to see you in California.
It's gonna be a great time.
It's gonna be great, and you're probably gonna be working, but I'm having lunch with all the Californian agents.
Yeah, is there anyone in this chat that's in LA?
There was, but I think that some of them have gone. I know that a couple people, Karina Pacific was there, and she's going to be in that meeting as well. Give me another second, guys. I'll pull this up.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice to see everyone.
Thanks, Moo.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. See you later. Oh, God. God, this is a pain in the ass. Sorry, guys. I'll have it for you in just one sec, guys. Sorry.
You could just post the PDF on bogen.ai.
Yeah, we could, but okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm working under the pressure here. I thought Eytan had the right link, and he didn't. What I'm going to do is I'm going to post this on. I'm going to post this in the description in this video. So if you go to bogen.ai and click on the video when this goes live, you'll be able to click on the link to get that particular form. Again, I want to, as a general rule, give this to just the subscribers of the people in this meeting, but in this instance, I'll make a difference just because I can't keep going here. And I can't multitask. I'm trying to just get this out to everybody at one time, and that's usually where I screw up, and I don't want to screw up anymore. It's good to see everybody. If there's any other questions before we conclude, please do let me know. Next meeting is going to be on Wednesday, 9 a.m. I sincerely hope that you come. If you're curious about subscribing, do give me a buzz or drop me an email. And thank you so much for coming today. This was great. Take care.